we'll talk about a couple of things and we'll play one more song. About you did something extraordinary. You were able to work with Grammys to create a new category called the Best Song for Social Change.
Yeah.
Tell us about that and why you felt it was important to add that as a category for the Grammys going forward.
Yeah, so I've been a member of the Recording Academy for, I don't know, 12 years or something like that. And
Governor of
the DC chapter. Yeah.
yeah.
And when I realized like that there's a process to creating awards, right? You can write a proposal and create an award. You know, we were trying to find ways to keep black music included, because it's always a struggle to keep black music even a part of the Grammys.
Yes.
So this was probably around 2020. I started doing workshops with the Grammy Circle of how to write social change music, because I was realizing that a lot of great songwriters have never written a song about anything besides, like, you know, a love song, which is, love is beautiful, but they had never even ventured out to talk about anything else happening in their world, in their communities. Sometimes, and you know, I started to question, so what is the reason, is there a reason why you've never written a song about a social change issue? Some of it was fear of being blackballed, fear of, you know, not being accepted, maybe the radio wouldn't play it, maybe the label wasn't allowed to come out. And some of it was they just weren't sure how to do it. Social change music is its own specific styling of creation, right? Because you have to make, to me, the point of it is to create a universal connection, to speak the universe, you're speaking the universal language of music, but there's a difference between a song and an essay, or a song and a poem, or a journal entry. So, you know, when I teach it to teach them to make it simplistic and think about how you want your listener to feel, not necessarily what you want to say to them, but how you want them to experience you, right? And how do you make a person who does not care about what you have to say care now? How do you make them question what they believe? They don't even have to agree with you, but just question what you believe. And on a sonic level, how do you reach into their heart and turn it around, make them look at the thing that they have been turning away from all these years, make them acknowledge that something is happening, and to feel a connection to it, to feel a connection to someone else's pain besides themselves. You know, how do you make a person who doesn't feel connected to a particular community, or any community, or humanity, or nature, how do you make them question what they've been taught? How do you make them care? And so that's what we started doing throughout this workshop, and then we went into 2020, went to the summer in 2020, and now a lot of artists are feeling conflicted about the music they've been putting into the world, you know, and knowing that they have not put music into the world that has had a positive impact. And so now we're doing these workshops with a lot more people in different chapters and things like that. And so, you know, I said, what we really need to do is incentivize social justice music. And when we first brought it to them, they said, well, not enough people care about this. There are not enough people who will make social change music to even have a category. You need a certain amount of people every year. And I know, because I actually come from this community, that that's not true. We make the music. You all don't allow it in the gate. It ain't that it ain't there. Y'all don't allow it through the gate. And now we need to question, why is that? Right? Because there's this idea that that's not happening, but I know it's happening, and anybody that's a part of our community knows it is happening, knows that there is gatekeeping, that you will let destructive, you know, music about drugs and suicide and murder and misogyny and all, you let that through. No problem with that.
Right.
That's not offensive, right? But anything about love and community and organizing and equality, no, that's a problem, right? And so just even have to get people to acknowledge that that is a thing, was a thing. But when I look at young people, because I've always, from my days of with Uprising, I always had a passion for that. I've worked in the prison system and methadone clinics. So, you know, wherever there's young people struggling with something, like I put myself there. I want to work with them and connect with them. And so what I know is that there are a lot of young people that have a lot of things, important things on their mind. They do care about their communities, right? But they don't think they can make no money that way. Right? So there is no, like, drugs, violence, sex, that's incentivized. Wellness is not incentivized. You know what I'm saying? Arriving alive with your mind intact, there's no incentive for that. And so that's what we wanted to do with this category. So we wrote a whole proposal. And we had to get data, research from, it was a lot to put this thing together. But the whole idea was that there had never been a category that was multi-genre, so no genre specific. It's just concept specific. You have to care. It has to be a song that you care about your community and you want to impact it in a better way. You want to lift up marginalized voices and give them a platform and incentivize young people to want to create like this that matters. You never heard Little Baby make no song about anything besides what his reality was, and that is fine, right? But the summer of 2020, the murder of George Floyd, it reached into people's chests and made them turn around and look this way. So let's keep that incentive, because you know what I mean. Like there are a lot of people that didn't know racism existed until that moment, or just didn't understand because they weren't tapped in like that. That wasn't something that was important to them. And so I wanted to keep the momentum that was being started there. I don't want this to be a 2020 trend. There's a phase where we care about Black people, or that these issues matter because, it's like, yeah, they matter. They mattered before. They're going to matter after. And so let's keep that incentive, keep continuing to incentivize it. So 2023 was the first year that the Grammys broadcasted Best Song for Social Change on the Grammys, and we got submissions, and that's the other thing. They didn't think nobody would submit. We had hundreds of thousands of submissions, for songs, and that's important. That's important for them to know. I guess it's important for us to know. Like I wanted people to feel like there is a point to continue making these vibrations that lift up the planet, that impact the world in a positive way.
Sure. So we will play. There's a few I would love to play. I would like to play Let Go.
Let Go, crazy.
But no.
Right.
Well, how many more songs I got? Daryl, how many more I got?
You might gotta play that Let Go, I ain't gonna lie.
So let's do this. We'll play these last two. We'll play the last two songs on the album. We'll play My Why first.
You gotta play that too.
Last. The title track.